Hello and welcome to my video today. I'm Loralee Humpherys and you are on my channel Faces of Freedom, where I give you tips and perspectives on how you can identify patterns and beliefs in your life that you've been taught that have kept you feeling small and uncomfortable and stuck, and instead be able to create a life that you love. So my question for you today is, do you feel like your body is going in a completely different direction than what you would want it to do? Or if you're kind of having an argument with it? Or are you experiencing a health condition or something that you now have to deal with that kind of hits you upside the head out of the blue and you're thinking, what happened? Why is my body presenting this health condition? I thought I was fine. Why is it showing me this illness, this condition that now I have to take time out of my lifestyle over here and address? So if you're having some confusion like that and wondering what to do with your body so that you can feel more in peace and harmony with it, then pay attention to what I share, stay tuned, and what I offer you, I hope will give you some perspectives. So this is something that I've learned through nutrition school and learning about health and wellness. I spent a lot of time in that arena of how to create and maintain optimal health. So some of the things I'm sharing with you is from that period of time. So one thing that I've understand, and this applies to literally every area of your life, is that all things first begin in the mind. How you think, how you look at things, including your body and your health, how you view you, how you feel about you, because all of that contributes to what your health actually is and what your body does in terms of health maintenance or disease development. Okay? So everything comes from the mind. You think about it first and then it shows up in the material world. For example, you think about, I need to get a different job, a different house, a new car. So it's first about the thought, and then you take actions to make it a reality in your experience. It's the same thing with your health. You first have a thought about you, your life, which then dictates actions you take. And those actions will either lead you towards greater health or towards a deterioration of your health, which then can show up as a surprise that, oh my gosh, I've been diagnosed with this thing, or my body's presenting this condition, I don't feel right, so now I have to figure out what happened. And it's kind of taken me by surprise. Well, don't let it take you by surprise, because when you unravel it, then you will find that there's really very predictable things that you can identify as to why you ended up to where you are. Okay, so what I hope to share with you is a couple ideas to clarify that. So everything begins with the mind. Your health is no exception. So when we're looking at creating a higher state of health, then we also have to look at creating a higher state of mind. Because what you're thinking is currently has resulted in what your health is like currently. It's a direct cause and effect. How you think about yourself determines what you put in your body. Whether or not you have this pattern of emotional eating when you're all stressed out, which so many people do actually. I mean, I've had it and I still struggle with it from time to time. I'll have this binge of emotional eating and then I'm like, why am I doing this? But it's all comes from the mind, whether or not it's conscious or not, and a lot of it actually is not conscious. And so we can look at our health and what our body presents as one way to help us identify beliefs and attitudes that we are no longer consciously aware of and that are dictating the outcome or state of our health. Okay, so when you have health concerns or health conditions present themselves to you, it really isn't a mystery. Seriously, it's not. It's just there's things you've not been aware of, or perhaps there's things you haven't been educated on to understand the actual principles of health, maintenance, and creation. Okay, so that brings me to another point. There's, in all of life, there's natural laws and principles that hold life together, of how things operate and run. You know, we can look at electricity or the law of gravity. There's the law of cause and effect. You know, there's a lot of natural principles that once we understand them and work with them in harmony, then we experience harmonious results in our life. There's laws of prosperity and developing wealth. You know, they're timeless and ageless. In like kind, there's principles and natural laws that create and maintain health, that people in all cultures all over the globe have known forever, literally. That's what has given rise to a lot of ancient medical systems, like in China, you have the Chinese medicine. In India, you've got the Ayurvedic system. Every culture has their wisdom that they've gleaned from generation to generation of what works, that codifies, or it tells us what natural principles and laws of health, maintenance, and creation are. The problem is, in Western culture, in the, should I say, wisdom of Western culture, we destroyed it. Or certain factions and forces, groups of people, hid it, distorted it, destroyed it, because they did not want the masses of people, the general populace like you and me, to know these principles of health so that they could impose upon our culture and our society an artificial system of health care known as allopathic drug medicine of cut, burn, and poison. So, kind of gotten off onto a tangent on that, but let's just come back to, there's natural principles and laws of health that have been known for centuries, for generations, by every culture on the globe, and it's up to us to learn what those are to take care of ourselves and our health. So if you are experiencing things in your health and in your body that feels like it's going at odds with you, that's an indication that there's something for you to pay attention to and learn about. Are you out of harmony with these natural laws of health? Which, if your body's sick, then guess what? You are. That's why your body gets sick and presents disease and inflammation and sickness and not feeling good and low energy and everything that is a scourge in our society today. All of the conditions of poor health, that's a glaring red flag telling us that we have divorced ourselves, abandoned the principles of true health and what creates health. You know, it's a straight out cause and effect. If you don't live in harmony with natural laws and principles of life, then you get a bump up against them and experience the disastrous results. It's very simple. You know, it's like you put your hand on this hot stove, you're going to get burned. You know, it comes down to that kind of a basic principle. But yet when it comes to health care and health maintenance, we've been so indoctrinated by we have to do this and this and this and this and this, and there's all this codex over here of how you have to live and do, that we've forgotten and got the basic simplicity of health. It's gotten lost. And so out of that, when you come up with diagnosis or health concerns, then no wonder you're confused. No wonder you're frustrated of, what do I do with this? My body is presenting this, and I've done this and this and this, and it's not working, and what do I do? Well, it's partly, this is just what happened. It's not something that you did or didn't do. It's just a society we're living in that we've, as a society, abandoned and divorced ourselves from principles of health care creation, by and large. So that leads us to having to take responsibility in finding what those truths are. A big key is looking at what people have done before, earlier than the last 100 years. Look at other traditions, like, for example, the Ayurvedic, the ancient Chinese medicine, more indigenous cultures or older cultures than the Western United States culture. You'll find common threads. And you'll also find that the basic principles that hold true over time are self-evident. They hold. They're timeless. You can depend upon them because they've held true for generation after generation after generation. You know, and in the Western world, then it was known as like old wives' tales, or things that witches used to do, herbology and healing. But they were really just following timeless principles. So truth will always stand the test of time, always. So that's the one way of how you can recognize whether or not this particular practice or this herb or this protocol will produce what you need it to do to improve your health. So the thing is about that, and the way our society currently is in terms of healthcare, is that you can always count on truth being self-evident, and lies and fads will come and go. Some really good ones will hang around for about 100 years, but they can't sustain themselves, which is why what we're seeing in our current healthcare system in this country is that it's imploding in on itself. It's become a complete disaster, train wreck, because it can no longer hold without a foundation of principles of truth. Okay, that alone is a big red indication of if it's falling apart, it's because there's not a lot of truth in it, not a lot of principles that are in harmony with nature, life, and the way life is put together. Okay, if it's falling apart, it's because it's kind of anti-life at its core foundation mindset. Okay. So that's the difference between whether or not something has truth and works. So, where does that leave you? To create a life that you really desire and where you can thrive obviously implies a body that's healthy, that's thriving, that has energy, vitality, longevity. Therefore, go look for healthcare protocols, herbs, foods, essential oils, healthcare practitioners, modalities that produce those results of vitality, energy, wellness, happiness. Okay? And don't get confused or misled by a lot of propaganda and stuff you find out on the internet and the media of stuff that's been pushed out there saying it will do that, of what healthcare is, and studies. There's all kinds of studies and research and statistics that say this and this and this. But then when you look at who bought and paid for all of that, if they're bought and paid for by pharmaceutical companies, then you know that it's probably twisted to say what they want the outcome of the study and the research to say, to put them and their drugs in a good light, rather than telling you more honest truths of what does and doesn't work according to natural principles in harmony with life and health creation. Okay? So, create an image in your mind of what you want your life, your health to be. If you were experiencing life or health with the most robust, energetic, longevity, fit, happy feeling in your body, what would that picture be? Not necessarily what it is right now, but if your health could, if if you could create a picture of what optimal health is for you, then what is that? So if you can create that picture and hold it in your mind and then take steps towards it, then eventually, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but your body will follow your intention. Because that's, again, it's in alignment with principles of creation and physics and energy and life. So hold that intention, take actions towards that end, and your body will shift and do what it needs to do to move in harmony and alignment with what your vision is. It's about coming into more conscious, intentional living rather than being on autopilot of just eating whatever because that's what advertisements showed looked really yummy. And then you just are not conscious about what you're eating and how you're taking care of yourself. And then 10 years later, then you experience the results, predictable outcomes of those choices. So become intentional. Figure out how you want to feel, how you want your body to look and to operate. And then write a list out. Go do some research. Look for 10 different modalities or practitioners or herbs or oils or practices that is out there and around. And then look at their results. Do some research. Just like, does this modality work for me? Does it work for me to go see this type of a healthcare practitioner? What kind of results do they produce? You can always tell whether it takes you towards greater health or not by the results. You know, if a lot of the results are people are more sick, more obese, on more drugs, more depressed, which is obvious of what we have in our society as a result of following predominantly allopathic drug medicine, then that should tell you a lot of things, that it's really not working. So find out something that works for you and do some research, and then tune into your body. How does your body feel at a visceral level when you're reading about this way of eating or these supplements or these herbs or this healthcare practitioner? Tune into you and really learn to recognize and honor your body's own innate intelligence. You know, part of why you may feel like your body's at odds with you is because you've lost that connection, that ability to communicate with your body, to tune into the wisdom, the intelligence that's there in every cell of your body that you're probably arguing with. Your body knows what it needs to reverse whatever the health condition is. Your body knows how to heal itself and how to rebalance itself to return to optimal health. And one of the easiest ways for you to facilitate that process is learn to communicate with your body and honor what you intuitively feel about your body's own wisdom, because it will tell you what it needs if you can tune into it. If you can sit quietly, bring your attention down in, out of your head into your body, like focusing on your gut, and just ask your body. It's like, okay, body, does this supplement work for you? Do you need these minerals? Will this food support you and what you need to cleanse and heal and detox? You know, just ask your body straight out those questions and then tune into and feel and sense like your belly, your literally, it's your abdominal mind, it's your second brain, is your gut. It's where your intuitive wisdom resides. There's consciousness there. Tune into it. So ask your body, it's like, do you need this supplement? And then sit with your body and tune into what your gut tells you. And it may take a while to develop this communication channel and this trust with yourself, but you will get an indication or some type of a response from your body mind to let you know that yes, this thing is good for the body. No, it's not. So that communication is critical in being able to develop the type of health and energy that you want, and to be able to deal with whatever the health condition is that's now presenting. Because a lot of times that stuff will present, health concerns and illnesses and things will present because we've missed previous signals of communication from our body for a long time. So now it's screaming at you loud enough so that you cannot not hear it. Okay? So learn to cut out all of these other voices and influences of the media and conventional healthcare people and drug manufacturers and doctors and all of those noises out there. Get an idea of what you want, what's going to feel right for you. Learn to develop that communication with your body, mind, and use that as your basis of moving forward, coupled with studying and finding the timeless, ageless principles of health creation and maintenance, and then moving yourself back into harmony and the flow of life force that those principles of health are there to teach you, to help you stay on that path where you're in harmony with life as opposed to against it. All right. So I hope that helps clarify a few things and give you some tips on how you can take better care of yourself. I'd love to hear what you enjoyed best about this video and how you can apply what I've shared with you. So leave comments. You can also reach me on Facebook under my name, Loralee Humpherys, and also Faces of Freedom. And my website is LoraleeHumpherys.com, so you can go over there and visit me there and see the other things that I'm sharing with you as well. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. Share this video and take care.